Welcome to the Cutesy Shelf. My name is DM, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make this trifold embellishment book. If you really like to make embellishments, this would be a great way to store or display your embellishments, or even give them as gifts in Happy Mail. So the book measures 6 inches tall by 4¼ inches wide, so it makes really great use of paper. And it's got a spine of 2¼ inches, so you'd be able to fit like a lot of embellishments inside. So I did give this book a ribbon closure, and on the inside, like when you open it up, you would be able to put embellishments here as well, because I did give it enough room. And then also on the inside, it's got 3 acetate pockets. And each of the pockets have a snap button closure, and then it also has a flap, because I thought this was like a great way to keep your embellishments from falling out. And then each of the pockets are expandable, so that way you'd be able to stuff like a good amount of goodies inside, or even like keep them simple just like this. And then of course, like if you didn't want to give them like these flaps, you can also leave that out as well. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make this. For the base of the book, I made it using 110-pound cardstock, as that provides like a great amount of sturdiness. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is cut a piece of paper that measures 6 inches by 7 inches. And on the 7-inch side, we're going to score at 4¼ inches, as well as 6½ inches. And here's a tip: whatever side you score on, if you don't want your paper to crack, what you should do is just flip it over and fold on the other side. Okay, and then we're just gonna fold and take our bone folder and crease it. Crease these fold lines. And then on this little flap, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add my score tape. You can also use liquid adhesive if you wish. Okay, and once I do that, I'm gonna also use my bone folder to burnish that so that it gets a good stick. And then we're just gonna set this piece aside. And then the next thing you're gonna have to do is cut a sheet that measures 6 inches by 9 7/8 inches. So I did that off of camera. Okay, and then on the 9 7/8 inch side, we're gonna score at 4¼ inches. As well as 5 3/4 inches. So 5 3/4. Okay, and then we're just gonna fold those score lines and crease them. Okay, and then on this sheet of paper, you're gonna notice that there's one side that's 4¼ inches, and then the other side is 4 1/8. I did that so that when you close the book, it's gonna like close nicely. So what you're gonna do is on the 4 1/4 inch side, we're gonna take this piece, and then we're just gonna add that other piece to it that we just cut. So remove the backing of your adhesive if you use score tape, and then we're just gonna add it to this piece. Okay, and then use your bone folder to give it a good burnish so that it sticks nicely. Okay, so this is now the base of our book. And then what I would do as well is, like, because I gave mine a ribbon closure, and like sometimes I forget to add that ribbon, I'm just gonna put a note to myself that says like add ribbon, because I've done this so many times, like forget to add the ribbon closure because you get carried away decorating. So just put a note to yourself. Okay, so that is the base of our book. Next, we're gonna need to add the flaps. So for the flaps, you'll need to cut 3 pieces that measure 4 inches by 4.5 inches. And I did that off camera, so I have my 3 acetate pieces. And then what you're gonna do is on the 4.5 inch side, so just make sure like you have 4.5 inches, we're gonna score at 1/2 inch. And because the acetate is like, you know, a little tougher than cardstock, you're gonna have to like crease it really good, like your score lines, make your, not crease, but like make really nice score lines at 1/2 inch as well as 7/8. Okay, and then on the 7/8 inch mark, we're just gonna fold that. And for this line, like I don't crease it because like when I open my flaps, I don't want this to be too sharp, and then it's gonna also like open easily, like if you don't crease it. But on the other line here, we are gonna fold that one and crease it on the 1/2 inch mark. Okay, and then crease it. And then also you'll need to use a really strong adhesive for this flap, and I like to use red line tape, and I was able to find this at the dollar store, and of course like all the big craft stores have it as well. Okay, and then give it a good burnish as well. And then also, I like to take my corner rounder and round off these corners because, you know, they're kind of sharp. And I just use my We Are Memory Keepers corner rounder, and I like to round it on the 1/2 inch side. Okay, and once you do that, okay, oops, sorry, this one. Let me do that one again. Okay, there we go. So now we are gonna add these, so you're gonna do that to all 3 pieces, and then we're gonna add these flaps to those panels that of our book. So we're just gonna remove the tape on the back, on the backing, and then just go right up to the edge, and then just center each one. So, sorry. Sometimes it's tough to work with. Okay, and then just make sure like each of these flaps is centered. And then once you do that for all 3, you're gonna also need to like add your decorative piece before we can add the acetate pockets. So I'm gonna add the flap here, give it a good burnish, and we're gonna do that for all 3. And then also you're gonna add your decorative pieces to each of those as well. So I'm gonna do that off of camera just to save time. So once you have your 3 flaps in place as well as your decorative sheets, the next step would be to make the acetate pockets. And like here in the center, you already see an acetate pocket because like while I was doing the next step, my camera turned off. So I'm just gonna have to show that step over again. So it's no problem. So all you have to do is to make the acetate pockets, you're gonna cut 3 sheets that measure 4.25 inches by 5.5 inches. So for this part of the tutorial, I'm just gonna use this cardstock, this solid piece of cardstock, because it's gonna be much easier for you to see what I'm doing. So for this, what we're gonna do is on the 5.5 inch side, we're gonna score it at 1/4 inch, as well 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch. And then you'll also have to score at 4 3/4 inches, 5 inches, and 1/4 inch. And then we're just gonna flip this onto the 4 1/4 inch side, and we're gonna score it 1/4 inch again, and then 1/2 inch and 3/4 of an inch. Okay, and then so it should look like this. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold it on the first lines, and then we're gonna fold it on, you know, all 3 sides, and then this as well. And what you're gonna find is that when you're working with acetate, the corners can be very sharp and you don't wanna nick yourself or anyone else. So what I would recommend is just do yourself a favor and like round those corners, just a tiny little bit. So just take your scissors and round the corners as best as you can. Okay, once you round the corners, this one's, it gets really bulky. You're gonna open it back up like this. And then now what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut off the bulk. So where we have this corner with like all of this, we're just gonna go like this and cut off a bit of the bulk. And then when you look at this piece that you rounded off, right, just go along the curve of that and then continue on and then cut off the bulk like you see here. Okay, and then we're just gonna flip that over and then fix that other side because it's gonna still be sharp, and go along that, continue along the curve and then just cut off the bulk. So it should look something like this. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, like just cut off a little piece first and then follow along that curve and then just cut off the bulk like that. And then flip it and then fix that side because it's still sharp. And then just fix it so that there's no more sharp edges. Okay, and then that's what your pocket's gonna look like. And then now all you have to do is, so dispose of the little shards carefully because they are gonna be sharp. Okay, and then you're just gonna take your bone folder and you're gonna crease those folds. And then now we're just gonna accordion fold this pocket and then like creasing along the way. And then you're gonna do that to all 3 sides. Fold and crease. Once you're done folding and creasing, you're just gonna add your like strong adhesive, which is like the red line tape. That's what I'm gonna use. Okay, and then I also did that off camera, so I have my piece. I'm gonna just move this out of the way. Okay, and then so I have my pocket ready, and I'm just gonna push this flat back so that it doesn't get in my way when I'm adding the pocket. And the easiest way to add the pocket is, so just make sure that, you know, this is like creased like this and lying flat. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna remove the backing on one side of the tape first, like on one of the sides of the pocket first. And then this is not gonna wanna sit still. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna line these corners up and then add the one side first. Like that's the easiest way to do it. Okay. And then once that pocket is in place, let me just make sure, because it's really, the tape is really like strong. We're just gonna burnish it so that we get a good stick. And then I'm gonna do the bottom and sides. Okay, and then this just takes a little bit of patience. And then you can use that the decorative piece to make sure that it lines up. And don't press down all the way yet until, you know, you see that it's straight. Okay, and then once everything is in place, you're just gonna use your bone folder to burnish those flaps into place. Okay, and so you're gonna do that for all 3 panels, like add your acetate pockets. And then the next step would be to add your snaps. So you can also use like Velcro if you wish. So to add the snaps, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put this piece of cardboard inside because I don't wanna pierce my nice paper at the back there. And I already made a mark like off camera, like to center this, and then to add the snap, you just use your tool and then poke a hole all the way through on both sides. Sorry about that, guys. My phone is running out of space and it just shut off. So good thing I have another pocket here to demonstrate on. So in order to add your snaps, all you need is 2 pieces that look like the thumbtacks, and then a male piece as well as a female piece. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take one of the pieces that looks like a thumbtack, and on the back of this pocket I'm gonna stick this piece through. And it really doesn't matter if you add like the male piece or a female piece, like it's just a matter of preference. So I'm just gonna add the male piece here. I'm gonna grab my snap tool, and on the cap part, which is this part, I'm gonna put that over the the back of the button, the back of the snap, that is. So it's gonna look like this. I hope you can see it. Okay, and then I'm just gonna like press down so that it stays. Okay, so that part is done, and then I'm just gonna take the other part of my snap, and in this case the other part, which is like the thumbtack looking piece, and in this case like I have a heart shaped one, I'm gonna put it on the front of this flap and then add the female piece to the back of this, and then again grab my tool and take the cap part, put it over the front of the snap, and then just give it a good squeeze, and then my snap is on. And then you do that for all 3 pockets, and then basically your book is done. Like once everything is in place, this is what it's gonna look like. I'm just gonna zoom out a little here. Okay, and then now it's just a matter of adding your ribbon and like decorating, and then you're done. So that is pretty much the tutorial for this trifold embellishment book. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below and I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.